Hey everybody, welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. My name is Jake, and today we are going to be installing some new lights on my Kubota mini excavator. So my friends over at Auxbeam were nice enough to send me out 2 sets of their new 3-inch lights here. You can see they are both Auxbeam brand. They are, I guess, color changing or something. So we're gonna open up the box, see what all is included in there, and hopefully it should be a pretty easy plug and play installation on the mini excavator. You are important. All right, we got a bunch of stuff here. Color Play series. Looks like we got a nice wiring harness with some switches. The clear lens covers, which I'm definitely going to be swapping out instead of those yellow ones. And then looks like we got the light itself. Now the lights that I currently have on the machine are 3-inch, kind of like diffused lights, but I really don't like the color of them. They're like a bluish color, which is kind of weird on your eyes, but these with, you know, this clear lens should be good. I believe I specified that I wanted them all in the flood pattern, so let's head on out to the excavator and get these puppies installed. I decided instead of doing this light installation out here in the wood yard, it would be easier to just track the machine up to the basement. That way I have, you know, power and heat gun, heat shrink. I'm really not all that sure how easy or plug and play this is gonna be. I haven't really looked too much at the lights and the connections on the machine itself. I just kind of said, hey, send me over some lights and I'll get them on the machine one way or another. Now the lights on the machine, I mentioned they're kind of like a weird blue color. You know, I don't particularly care for them. They're bright enough, but I just think that these Auxbeam lights will be brighter. I've worked with Auxbeam in the past a couple different times. I have their lights all over my boat. I have them on the dump trailer. I have them on the International, both the headlights and the rear backup lights on the International. And you know, they're really just a great middle of the road option if you're looking for, you know, off-road vehicle / equipment lighting. They really don't break the bank. They have a ton of different options. They offer a pretty decent warranty, and they're pretty high quality. So if you're in the market for, you know, lights for your truck or your tractor or your side-by-side ATV or excavator, go check out Auxbeam. I will post a link to their website down in the description. So here is the mini excavator, and these are the lights that are currently on there. They're these like square, I don't know, like 3 or 4 inch square lights, and there's 3 of them on there. Now I have 4 in the 2 sets that I got from Auxbeam. For now, I think we're just gonna put up 3 and see how they do. In the future, I might try to get 1 mounted up on the back in here for kind of like a backup light, but ideally I'd like all of these, you know, lights to just work off the stock switch that's already up there in the cab. So it's kind of looking to me like these lights are just kind of butt connect, you know, they got some butt connectors tying them into the main harness. So hopefully we can do something similar with the Auxbeam lights. I know we might have to cut their harness to just provide a little tail, because it looked like they had a plug and play like 4-prong plug in the back of those Auxbeam lights. But let's get this puppy warmed up and then we'll track it all the way up to the house. So she fired up with not too much trouble. We'll let her warm up, but it's never a good sign when you find mice droppings on your seat inside of your machine. I have one of these Grandpa Gus, you know, mouse repellent packs in here, but I guess it's time to swap it out for a fresh one because we we got mice.
camera and I saw the damn mouse dart out from underneath the excavator. So hopefully there's only one. I have a feeling where there's one, there's many. But these darn mice have been killing me all season since the fall. I got major infestation in the International. I'm trying everything I can, from poison to traps to these, you know, mouse repellent packs that put off a smell, and I just can't seem to win. If any of you guys got any good options or ideas beyond a cat, because I've already tried that and Sarah's not going for it, at least at this point, let me know what you do to keep mice out of your, you know, equipment when it's sitting idle in the winter. I mean, this stuff doesn't get used every day, but it gets used a couple times a week. So I guess that's enough to invite the mice in for a comfy little home. Hey Lou, I see you, buddy.
All right, so we're back inside, and I was just looking at this wiring diagram. You can see that there's like kind of a pigtail harness that goes into the back of the light right there with 4 prongs. These lights, I guess, this yellow and white wire, they have the option, if you're running them on a vehicle, to be white. It would be the daytime running light, and the yellow would be the amber turn signals. Obviously, the excavator does not need daytime running lights or turn signals, so we're going to ignore these yellow and white wires and probably just end up snipping them off the harness. And I think for simplicity's sake, since we already have all 3 of those lights on the excavator, you know, wired up with a harness, I think I'm actually going to cut this plug off, which typically would then go into this big wiring harness that has a switch built in, a power switch, and a relay and a fuse. I don't think I really need any of that stuff, so I'm going to sacrifice this one pigtail. It goes from the 4 plugs in the back to just 2 pins, which I'm guessing are your power and ground. So I think once I cut this plug off, we should be able to strip back some of this rubberized, you know, wire coating and just butt connect, you know, this harness to what's already existing on the excavator. Here goes nothing. Yep, perfect. It's just 2 wires in there. I don't know if you could see that, a red and a black. So now we can strip this back a bit. Yep. And there we go. So this should be as easy as I kind of anticipated. Pull these wires back like that. And I don't think we should need these yellow and white wires, but I'm just going to leave them on there just in case for the time being. Let's go cut off or disconnect one of those lights that's currently on the excavator and see what we're working with on that side. All right, so I was just messing around, and these old lights were put on with like butt connectors or bullet connectors, whatever you want to call them. They had some sort of like heat shrink stuff on there, but didn't appear as if it was shrunken. We don't have a lot of wires or length of wire to work with here, but I think we should be able to cut those, you know, that rubber boot off of the bullet connectors and have just enough red and black wire on the machine side to get us some good new connections with heat shrink solder butt connectors. So I'm gonna get these lights off of here and we'll keep on keeping on. All right, guys, check this out. The kind people over at Vevor sent me out this awesome travel tool set. Now, it's funny that they asked if I would be interested in this thing, because I was actually looking for one of these online, but all the ones that I saw were just a million sockets
and like not really a full comprehensive set of like a little bit of everything. But this thing came with pliers, Allen keys, wrenches, different size sockets, screwdrivers, wire cutters, you know, needle nose, screwdriver bits, an adjustable crescent wrench. So this thing's the real deal. I'm planning on keeping it out by the woodyard just so that I don't have to make a million trips up to the basement every time I need some tools out there. I find myself doing that quite a bit, and it wastes a considerable amount of time. But for a little project like this, when I don't really know exactly what I'm going to run into, having something like this is awesome because it, you know, basically has everything you'd need for the most part to get it done. I'll post a link down in the description. All right, I'm going to take this light cover off too, just to give us a little extra room to work, because we're going to need it, because we don't have much wire to work with. All right, so the bolt they gave us to mount these lights with is a little too big for this hole, so we got to drill it out a little bit. Of course, the one bit I need, the 7/16, I'm missing, or it broke or something, so I'm gonna have to use this stepped drill bit and hope for the best. There we go. It's about 20 degrees outside, so for the sake of my dexterity, I'm just gonna swap out these lens covers inside here. You need a pretty small Allen key, and there's 4 of them. All right, there we go. Got one floodlight ready for install. Got those on. I can plug this in, and we can test it out. So, I'm gonna take this vice grip off here. Vice grip was just to help the wires from not sucking back in the machine. Now let's see if I can set that right there. Turn the key on. Turn the lights on. And there we have it. We got light. I got to do it 2 more times. 1 and 2 over there. All right, so that first light went on with little to no issue. The second light is not proving to be quite as simple. Upon coming over here, I discovered that this bracket at some point, if you could see that, has been broken. It doesn't have the horizontal little mounting plate left on it anymore. It's been broken off at some point, which is an issue because these lights, and I was not aware of this when I looked at them, these plugs stick out a considerable amount on these lights, and they're rigid. So we're missing part of this mounting bracket here, which, you know, if the light was like out here, it wouldn't be so much of a problem.
but it's in like this, and it's not allowing me to mount it there. Then the other issue is, because some people might be saying, oh, you should just move it, to a location like right here, but my wires are not long enough. And now I'm afraid if I cut these butt connectors again, I'm not gonna have enough wire left on the machine wiring harness to extend it. I could cut the wire right there, but I don't really want this light, sticking out on the side. So, gotta figure something out. Okay, so now we got 2 working lights. This third one up here that we ran into issues with the mounting bracket, I just decided to leave off for now. I gotta see if maybe I can buy a new mounting bracket and cut this old one off and weld on a new one, because I just wasn't gonna be able to get it to work, and I really didn't want to force it or drill new holes on one of these other brackets over here. So we're gonna see what happens with that, but for now we got 2 super bright lights. I'm hoping that the 2 of these work out better than these cheap little flat ones, albeit the new aux beam ones were kind of hard to install. Not any issues due to aux beam, but just the configuration on the machine itself. All right, so for now, I just wrapped this in electrical tape and put some heat shrink around it to protect that plug. But hopefully in the near future, I can figure out, maybe find a new bracket or make one and get another light mounted up here. It always amazes me just how many tools you end up needing for what seemingly should be a pretty easy job, but it always takes longer and you always need more tools than you thought. So if you guys are interested in a Vevor mechanic set here, all encompassing, nice little set to keep in the truck or out in your wood yard, I'll post a link to that down below. Just tracking the machine back. I don't know if you can see big hawk sitting right there. Beautiful. It's a lot closer in person than it looks on camera. He could be the reason, or he could be a solution to my mouse problem. He keeps it up. Okay guys, we are out here. It is 8:35 at night. Pretty dark. The only light we got on is the light on the splitter shelter over there. But as you can see, it's pretty darn dark out there. Going to turn on these lights here for the first time. Here we go. Boom. Wow. That is a huge difference. The camera will focus, and that, mind you, is just 2 lights. So here we have the boom light, or the stick light, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I call that lower part the boom. And we got the one on the cab. So when we get the third one, we'll have even more light. But as of right now, that is pretty darn good. Now I did go ahead, after I went in before and showered up, I did go ahead and order the appropriate bracket that I'm going to need to get that light up there fixed, as well as the protective shroud that goes around it.
2 days later.
All right, just got the parts in the mail from Messick's. They are great. These came, I don't know, 2 days ago or something. Kubota parts. So this is supposed to be the light mount. I'm not exactly sure if that broken bracket is going to affect things. And then this is that other light shield shroud to protect it on the front. All right, so I got this new part here, and I'm looking at the excavator, and it looks like it goes on something like that. Basically, where this mount, if the camera will focus, broke, there is still enough metal where I think I could get like a big fender washer up under there to pinch the two, you know, this new part to this existing mount. And once I do that, then we're gonna have to run into the issue of the wiring harness not being long enough, because I didn't realize that this mount from the factory is offset. So we're probably gonna have to extend that wiring harness a little bit in order to get the plug to have enough length to plug into the back of the light. Okay, got this mount on pretty good. You can see it's kind of sandwiched in there with a washer and a lock nut. So that, you know, worked out, I guess. It's this mount, it must have gotten the weld. You might be able to see in there is a little cracked on the inside from when it got hit. But it's pretty sturdy. I mean, I'm like putting weight on that and shaking it. Now the next thing I have to do is, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to cut this again and splice in extra wire. Okay, got this all mocked up here. I got the wire spliced and sent all the heat shrink solder butt connectors all the way back into the, you know, cab. And now I'm thinking that this should be about the amount of wire that I need to be able to, you know, angle the light any which direction and, you know, have plenty of slack in the harness, which then I will, you know, wrap in heat shrink and some sort of loom. Whether or not I probably won't let the wire just dangle like that. I'll probably route it underneath the light to keep it a little bit more low profile so nothing gets stuck on it, but that's the game plan. Let's get it done.
A few minutes later.
Okay, well, we got the third one on, and as you can see, it works. I took the time and did what I would consider to be pretty nice wiring job here. I used you know, heat shrink all around, going all the way back into the cab. So now I have plenty of wiring harness to, you know, make this a comfortable bend. You can see I ran it down underneath the light mount to keep it out of the way. So things are good. The only thing I'm missing are the actual screws, 4 screws to hold this in. I don't have the right size bolts. It is I think it's like a fine thread metric, so I'm gonna have to run the hardware store and take one of these from the other side with me for reference. All right, guys, we're out here in the wood yard. Got all 3 of the lights on the excavator. Gonna go turn them on now. Here we go. Boom. Yeah, that is a big difference. Big difference for sure. Let's hop out of the cab, check it out. You can see they're going way out here. Keep in mind, this is the flood pattern, and you can still see how far out they're illuminating. They look real good. They are super bright. I got my motion lights on the shelter behind that are turning on, but those pale in comparison to these. Looking good. That should be helpful working on these winter nights, you know, when the sun goes down nice and early. So pretty happy with these aux beam lights. There will be a link in the description for them down below.